Chris Aller with ONTrack Weekly. I'm driver number 76, Bone Stock from Sunset Speedway. I'd like to take this time to thank my sponsors, Junior's Haulage, East King Trucking, Technicore, Fast Car Audio, Nicky's Tire, and Auto Trimmaberry. Enjoy the show, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen.
What's going on, everybody? Cam Kaga with you. Got a brand new intro for the show. Unfortunately, it looks like the stream wasn't strong enough to carry it tonight, but we're trying to improve the show, make it better each and every week. Try and continue to bring as much attention as we can to the Canadian and specifically the Ontario racing scene. We want to thank Chris Allard for that awesome intro once again and welcome you in to an hour-long ONTrack Weekly as we discuss a lot of racing that's got us excited for this week and finally excited to get back to the racetrack. It has been a long time, it feels like. A matter of, almost a month for myself. We were planning on going out to Peterborough 2 weeks ago, but got rained out. And I had some other business that had to get taken care of this past weekend, so I wasn't able to get out to the racetrack. So we're going to be out there this weekend, though, for the Sunset 1,000 to win Bone Stock Invitational taking place. 1,000 to win Hilltop, I believe it's what it's called, and you got mini stocks out there, junior late models, and the Ontario Legends, and then it's also Rib Fest. So not a bad place to be this weekend. As you see, there's a lot of stuff happening across the province. Ohsweken Speedway has the NASCAR Canada Series in town. Yes, that also brings in some celebrities, not just the NASCAR Canadian Series drivers, but NASCAR Canada Series drivers, but we've got some pretty big names, including Chase Briscoe, current NASCAR Cup Series driver, is going to be there on Thursday. Amber Balkin, current ARCA Menards Series competitor, is also going to be in the field. And you know what? Each and every time we get Ohsweken Speedway racing, it's a good thing. You're going to have Thursday's hot laps and I believe the heat races on G-Force. All right, so stay tuned right here on G-Force TV. Get yourself some amazing action in. Now, the race itself is going to be over on Flow, okay, just like normal, or TSN Plus, whatever you watch your NASCAR Canada Series with. But again, Ohsweken Speedway's covering their regular racing on Thursday and the regular racing on Friday, except for the NASCAR Canada race. The heats and the hot laps are going to be on here, right on G-Force TV. Rogers TV is also going to be live this weekend. Once again, Delaware Speedway on Friday, Ontario Sportsman Series are in town with their late model division and the Bone Stock division. See what they can get out of the Bone Stock division. They need somebody to come up there and defeat Jeremiah Rabideau. That's a necessity right now, I think, if they want to keep that season from getting away from everybody else. They got to get Jeremiah. They got to slow him down somehow. Ontario Legend Cars, they are out in a combined effort with the Great Lakes Legends at Sunset Speedway this weekend. So those crowds, the cars, the fields have been fantastic. So we'll see a combination effort with Robin Yongen and Jennifer Hatch together with those two series coming in and being a part of a giant show. I don't know if, Richard, you're referring to the Thursday. Not this weekend, though. The weekend's looking pretty good. Whether it's not going to be for Thursday, hard to say. It's kind of a hole that we're kind of in. There's no really way around it, and yeah, it's not going to be fun if Chase isn't able to make it, and Ember Balkan is supposed to race at Delaware in the Ontario Sportsman Series event. That series is looking to have their best car count in over 10 years. It will be since 2013 that they've not had a count this great in the series. So things looking very good there. We go to the APC series. APC is out. All four branches of the United Racing Series are racing this weekend, with the APC late models and the Dayco Superstocks. They're out at Flamborough Speedway, with the Vintage Modifieds being the third division that's going to be out there. And then the Oscar Mods and Hot Rods are out at Full Throttle in Varney. They'll be there, and they're looking very, very good this weekend. Yep, Tracy, I've got it up there. Full Throttle Motor Speedway in Varney is where your mods and your hot rods are at. And you know what? The count's been looking really good for the hot rods. We've had a little bit of a struggle with the modifieds, but hopefully Varney will bring a couple more out there. Thunder Trucks. We can't forget about our Thunder Trucks, Jason. The king has spoken. The king of the Thunder Trucks. Well, actually, I would say the king, but he's got good competition this year from Mason Culver out there. So it's going to be a very interesting rest of the season between Jason and Mason. Did we plan that the names would rhyme? Outlaw Super Lates, they're going to be out at Peterborough Speedway, and all I want is for Peterborough Speedway to get a full, complete night. They tried. They really tried this past weekend to get as much as they possibly could, and they just ran out of time. If it would just stop raining for one weekend for Peterborough, I'm sure they'd really appreciate it. Grand Bend has fan appreciation this week, as does Full Throttle. It is their Christmas in July. And no racing for Sauble this weekend. They've got monster trucks in town at Sauble Speedway. So, hey, if you are racing out at Sauble Speedway in your bone stocks, come on down to Sunset Speedway and be a part of the $1,000 to win Bone Stock Invitational. We definitely want to see as many racers out there. We've got a couple guys coming from Flamborough Speedway that are going to come and be a part of it. I haven't heard of anybody coming from Delaware yet. Hopefully there'd be somebody, maybe a couple racers, but I know Chance Rogers, Spencer Riddell have already registered to be a part of the Bone Stock Invitational. We got Dustin Johnston coming down from the Full Throttle Motor Speedway. Hopefully they'll get a couple more racers from there as well to come down and be a part of it. One of those things that I'm really hoping we can get a solid count in the Bone Stock division. I know it's been Chris Allard's been a pretty dominant force so far, but if we can put on a fantastic show, it's also Rib Fest. So come on down and get yourself some great. There's going to be, I think, 4 vendors of ribs out there, plus food trucks, plus I believe inflatable castles, face painting. Not to mention the racing is out there as well. So lots of stuff to do out in Innisfil. But of course, fan appreciation out at Full Throttle as well. You can get your driver autographs. That is going to be part of the night. And then Grand Bend is also doing the same. So lots of stuff to do this weekend, and lots of racing. As Jason Vela did mention, he's tied for the lead right now with Mason Culver in the Thunder Truck division. I believe actually Renegade trucks are also running, so both truck divisions in action this weekend. I don't think the mini trucks are out running tonight, or running this weekend. But this is jam packed. Starts right at the top at Oshweekend Speedway, and I know there's plenty of people that'll be excited about that. For myself, I kind of think the race has been okay. It's it's interesting. Ribfest, I believe, is at the track. It's in the parking lot, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know why we'd make a big deal about it being in at Sunset Speedway if it was in town. So it'll be a little weird. And yes, Jen Hatch is going to see Graydon Bunn because Graydon Bunn is going to be racing. He is going to be in the mini stock division at what they do their events this weekend. We're going to try and sneak some other people in, I think. Try and get some people into mini stock cars or in legend cars. I like seeing people driving different things. It's always a lot of fun. The interesting thing, though, is it is going to be exceptionally hot this week. So, again, drivers, get yourselves prepared. Things keep switching back and forth. I mean, we had a couple weekends ago where people were in jackets because they were so cold I believe it was actually for the APC series the day after their rain out. And people are using jackets because they were cold. So the constant switch is definitely an issue. Yes, Austin, I can't wait either for the big OSS. Now, again, that is dependent. OSS. That's a big name for the series. But Corey McAllister is going to be the name that you're going to have to watch for. Chad McGlynn is going to be in a different car than he was in the first race. Unfortunately, their other car, I was talking to him, it needs some TLC, so he won't be in the car that he performed and has won so many times at Delaware in. He's actually being in the car that Sean McGlynn won the Ecotech Pole Award in to start the season, and Sean's going to, I assume Sean is still going to drive and drive the 9 car. See what that Intrepid can do out there. I'm hoping. We got a couple debuts this weekend, a couple returns. I think there's still going to be a second car for Two Speed Motorsports. I know that there's been, Corey had posted that it's a rental car available. There's 2 rentals right now in OSS, so I know they want to get as many faces coming in, and we're not talking about like inexperienced drivers. We're probably looking for a bit more experienced names. We don't want to have a bunch of people come in and stuff get wrecked. But there are rentals available in that series, but also there are rentals available at Peterborough Speedway for their brand new Bandoleros. And Chase Cousineau actually had a conversation with him, and Chase has been able to races, and Chase was able to run them, and did say he prefers it over suspension, very bouncy. The Bandoleros have been, as he said, they've been so much fun to drive. He absolutely loves driving them. So, hopefully that can take off and not at the detriment of another division or not at the detriment of kids racing. As of right now, Peterborough is the place to try it out. Peterborough's got 22 I think it is, junior late models. I like having a division between that and bone stocks or that and mini stocks. I think that's a good fit. I think for names, drivers that are between the ages of maybe 12 to 16, that gives them an option rather than going straight up to, say, a mini stock. I would even say if you can go to like 18. I just don't know if that's the reality that I think is going to be taking a lot more attention, the more economical than a mini stock. It sounds as if right now, So there's definitely possibilities that we'll see some more names moving around. We've already got people selling cars for this year, people that are raffling cars for this year. So unfortunately, that is part of racing, and expenses are the biggest name of the game, unfortunately. But this is going to be a very interesting weekend. APC Series, Kyle Steckley looks like he's just starting to get warmed up. He was able to go out and win a Pro Late Model race out at Flamborough this past weekend prior to this weekend's event. No one else, it looked like, from the APC Series had prepared and done the same thing. So we'll see how that works. The big question mark, I think, is what J.R. Fitzpatrick is going to do. J.R. is somebody who did participate earlier this year in an APC Series event, even though it wasn't expected, at Flamborough. And he is somebody that I think you're going to want to check if he's in the field. The big question mark will be, will Shea Gemmell be back? That car was heavily destroyed at Delaware after an accident with Cody Ferry. And I really hope that we don't lose any competitors. I think we're going to go to Flamborough. You'll see the Rick Burbridge will be out there. Rick Burbridge has already been in a race this season for the late models. Maybe Billy Schwarzenberg. I don't really know. It doesn't appear that that's going to happen. Just that is another name that you could see out there. You got Logan White, Kevin Albers, but a lot of those guys haven't done or won't do an APC event. The division out there is quite small at Flamborough, and this weekend is a big opportunity really a very big opportunity for the Canadian Vintage Modifieds to be on this big platform on Racing America with APC Series being a companion event. And that's one of those things that I think is very important for the tracks. It's very important for the series themselves to make sure that the information is passed on to those putting on the show. One of the things that we want to make sure for the OSS when they go to Delaware is that the information is correct. We've had situations in the past where commentary on Rogers has been completely incorrect because they rely solely on Race Monitor. And unfortunately, when Race Monitor is wrong, that information is wrong and that it's broadcast wrong. And we want to make sure that that doesn't happen. And that's the same on the APC side. I want to make sure that the information that is passed along is correct and that everybody gets mentioned. There we go. Unfortunately, it does appear that no, Feeney, it did. My microphone went out randomly. Actually, I don't know why it did, but yeah, no, it. I think this is the opportunity. If you have a series, and this is one of the things that we've talked about in the past on this show, if you are going to run a racing series, it's very important that when you have these big opportunities, are you saying there's still no sound coming from the microphone now, Sean, or are we okay? Okay. Actually, I can see it cutting out. It might be the actual cord. of the microphone. But one of the things that I definitely want these series to do is, if you are going to have an opportunity like this, you got to get as many cars out as possible. It's cutting in and out. Okay. Well, how's that? That might be better now. Switching out the ports. I'm using an older laptop, which, in all honesty, is probably on its last legs. The USBs ports are a little wonky, but so yeah, what I was trying to say before the sound keeps messing up on me is, you got to get out there and you got to promote, and you got to be on. I hate to say to some of these series, but you've got to be on social media. You have to update people on what the heck is going on with your series. There are some series that I would love to have on this list right now beside me. However, they don't update their websites, or they don't update social media. So you have to go into every track and look down the list to see if they're racing this week. Not saying that's a huge problem, but we want people to know. You want to know what when they're racing and where you're racing, who your racers are. There's a couple of these series that really need to work on that. And I'm not going to call it any specific one, because every division needs work and needs help. That's the truth. But it's very important that drivers' names are spelt right, partner names are mentioned, team mentions, where people are from, and that it be correct. Now, it's not always the easiest thing, and I can tell you from working in a racing series, it's not the easiest thing to always get that information from people. Sometimes it's like pulling teeth. Legitimately, you have to go and send messages and messages and messages. But as somebody who runs a podcast and talks about these racers, I want to know who they are. But if I can't find that information because your website is 4 years outdated, 2 years outdated even by now, I don't know any of that information. We don't know how to promote you if you don't promote yourself. So that's why this weekend, like we talk about, the Pure Stocks, I thought was a fantastic choice for Flamborough to partner with the APC series previously. And then now this weekend to have the Canadian Vintage Modifieds. This is the opportunity. Get as many cars as you possibly can to get out on the racetrack, promote the hell out of it. Make it a big deal, because it is a big deal. You're on Racing America, which is a platform that not people can just access your stuff, but then they can go back and rewatch it. Just like YouTube, absolutely, but it's a subscription service, so people are paying for the product. Okay? Now, whether or not this is going to be it's going to work all the time, it might not, but you got such a great opportunity here with being on a major platform like Racing America, that want to put the best product out there, the best amount of cars out there. You don't want to go out there and wad up the whole field, and you want to go and have a steady, interesting race. And one of those things that Pure Stocks, I mean, those are kind of something you'd see at every track. But by putting the Canadian Vintage Modifieds on the track, that is not something that you're always going to see at every track. In fact, we only see it at Flamborough Speedway. So by having that, it is going to attract another interesting, partner, and more drivers coming in, people that have never seen it that could come in, and you're building fans that way. I think that one of the things that they can continue to do is put a product like that. And that's, typically what we see is the Can-Am midgets along with the APC series. After a while, though, I think that you want to kind of switch it around and have different traveling series or homegrown talent series be a part of it. We've seen Renegade Trucks when they were at Peterborough. We've seen Bone Stocks when they were at Peterborough. Delaware typically, when APC is there, you've got Super Stocks already going to be a part of it. having Oscar as a part of it. Absolutely great to showcase those divisions. I think one of those things that you want to do, especially so for the bigger events. I think when NASCAR used to come to town, they would be by themselves. And there was a couple periods, I think in 21, where we had the super stocks that competed. It was at the time, it was I think it was just an invitational actually in 21, when the super stocks were there. But hot rods used to come and be a part of the show. And then there was a period of time where the NASCAR Canada Series would not have any companion series with it, nothing at all, which is totally the wrong idea. One of those things that always surprised me was that we would have divisions where there would be no additional series. Again, ticket value. You want to make sure that people are going to events and feel that they're getting what they're paying for. It is tough these days to try to compete, but it is... Yeah, I think it's tough. Yeah, I don't know where you're getting when you have to pay near $300. That's not. I don't know about. With last year NASCAR Canada and APC we have to pay. Yeah, well, unfortunately, yeah, that's tough. Pure stocks were added to the Gold Rush, and Spencer, why are they added to the Gold Rush? Because I've said it time and time again. The pure stock division out at Flamborough Speedway is phenomenal. Now, where I feel the pure stocks and the bone stocks out at Delaware are good, it has been a tough kind of road to try and get a new feature winner. You've had Matt Langford, and you've had Jeremiah Rabideau, Jason Lovey, but aside from that, it seems like it's been a pretty dominant season for that, and it's been kind of like that the past couple of years, where it's one or two guys or three guys that are kind of dominant. Whereas, this season especially, it feels like the pure stocks have been a complete crapshoot each week. I definitely think names like Courtney Scott, Wade Thorne, Spencer Riddell, Mark Allen, Chase Mitchell. You've got Chance Rogers, Craig Cole, Jordan Wilms, legitimately Phil Givens when he's there. All these names could go and win any week. And that's what you want a pure stock division to be. You don't want it to be run and won by the same person every week. It doesn't help the division at all. So it's one of those things that I think we're going to have to hope that this especially this weekend, that the invitational goes well. I would personally, like I said, I'd love to see a couple more cars come on down from other divisions. I don't believe yeah, see, the problem is Peterborough, you're not really going to get anybody because they are running bone stocks. So they're not going to be a part of it. That's it right there. The bone stocks are also running on Friday night at Delaware. It's a bit of a change to set up the car for Delaware to Sunset. Whether we see anybody, maybe like if we talk about a team that has another car, like the Jesse Howard, they have an additional car that maybe they would take the Trek. But again, it's a long way to go. And if it's $1,000 to win, I'm not sure what the breakdown is all the way down to the end, but like BT Racing as well. Is it worth it for them to take their cars like Cam Thompson or Mac Ingram and go and race at Sunset? Ultimately, that decision is up with them, but I'd hope to see it. Ashley McMartin says, I tried last week in a Peterborough to bring some car counts for the Bone Stock 50. It's actually not much change from setup from the two. Yeah, Ashley, I find it's harder for the bone stock division, because last weekend the bone stocks at Sunset were also running, and so were the ones at Flamborough. This weekend is a little bit different. I put up $500 for the winner. I'm not changing anything for Sunset. Send it. Why not, Spencer? Yeah, I mean, putting up $500 for the winner, and that's Ashley. Just thank you for putting up the work. It seems like it's like pulling teeth, what we talked about, to get people to go to events. Now, when I put a poll up earlier this year, the biggest reason why people said that they were not going to events and why they weren't traveling is actually because of the travel. I can understand Delaware and maybe Full Throttle and Sauble not coming all the way down. Flamborough, Sunset, Peterborough, I can see those all kind of working intermittently. I haven't ran my car there, so honestly I have no idea what to do. Perfect. Just wing it, Spencer. And you don't know, right? You could go out there and be great, or you could be crap. It's hard to say. I've got a hungry cat over here, so he's meowing while I'm trying to talk. It's like I haven't fed him in 30 years. But it's only been maybe an hour. Just like me. Bone Stocks and King of the Hill is what fills the stands at Delaware on a Friday, says Jim Walsh. So many Bone Stocks, each car brings fans, and a series that brings fast cars in a series that the fast cars start further back and they come up through the field. They put on the show that the top series did years ago. Absolutely. Ashley says, I would love to see all three in Flamborough, Sunset, and Peterborough area work together. I agree with you. We talked about this actually on my other podcast on Friday about having these same areas work together to put on a huge show. But at the same time, if I'm not mistaken, and a couple of guys will be able to remind me here, Flamborough tried to do this last year, but it was, I believe, canceled because of a lack of interest. Now, I could be wrong in terms of the that it was running on the same weekend as other bone stock races, but I could be wrong. And if that's the case, then we're not really fixing the situation, are we? We're still doing the same thing as before, running a I'm just going to be off camera for a second, running a series that doesn't prove to make a lick of difference, unfortunately, trying to get names out. And as Tracy says, like, the hot rods have done that, and it allows cars to run at the different tracks. You know what? And I'll be honest with you, if you look at Sunset's hot rod count last weekend, they had 19, I think it was, for their hot rods. Oscar's kind of had a little bit less, but they're coming back too. And by having the series work together, and my understanding was that Oscar and Sunset worked together so that there wasn't conflicts. I believe there was only one, and it was a modified event, if I'm not mistaken. But I can't remember. Brendan told me, and I can't remember, and Brendan would know more than I, but it was a fantastic race. Amanda Balson won in a great battle with Dan Archibald, and that if I would have expected those two to race side by side clean, I honestly wasn't expecting it after the stuff that had gone on earlier this year. But Flamborough Pure Stocks only have 2 nights off all season. Hard for us to travel. Having only Delaware available to run on Fridays risks a lot of points. And that's the other side of it, Spencer. I think the way that we got to do it is if we want to have a Pure Stock Invitational, it has to be at the end of the season. It has to be something prior to, and that's the problem, is that you have then Velocity, Frostfest, and you have Autumn Colors. You have the Pumpkin Smasher. If you did something where it became not affecting the championship, that's the other side of it as well. So, realistically, they could have 60 bone stocks show up for Autumn Colors. No doubt you could have 60 show up, but they don't. I feel that this could change because we really don't get. I mean, I don't live up north though, so I live in the city. So things might be very different here compared to where other people live. But I feel like it doesn't get to that December weather anymore. So if we were able to get an opportunity to do some sort of an invitational, it is Frosttoberfest. There was over 50 last year. So Frosttoberfest got over 50 cars. Why are we doing invitationals when you've got an event like this? So the downfall of colors is cost 3 nights. If you're going to do the bone stocks, you got to do, and that's the other thing too, is there too much in one night? I would probably go with yes. Oscar, Hot Rods, Mods, TQ, or Outlaw Midgets, Legends, OMRS. But at the end of the day, I'd love it if and there's not really a lot of places that you can do it, because at the end of the season, it's the end of the season and that's it. It's hard to kind of come up with it. I think Frosttoberfest, as Phil mentioned, is the one. And he had over 50 last year. But making sure that the payout is worth it. The Igloo is a trophy that everybody wants. And make it. And I think Sunset's doing a great job, actually, with some of their inventive trophies this year. ACC needs to do one-day shows. But JP wants to get 3 days of gate fees out of all the classes. Phil Givens last year cost half my yearly budget for hotels, food, and fuel for colors. So there we go, right? We're already discussing it. Yeah, I think a one-day show. I mean, I personally would like. I just don't. Again, you got to cut some stuff because ultimately you can't have everything. Now, what you can do, however, is have it set like you had said. Craig is have it so that the Friday is all of this division, all of its B races, and the main show is on the Friday, and then on the Saturday it's all these the heats and the main show, and then on the Sunday it's the same thing. And then unfortunately when the weather comes in, which it has, it then takes all of that and throws it out the toilet. Pretty much. Graydon, race all day, party all night, go home. Absolutely. And it's Gary Calling in the chat as well. It is. We already know budgetary reasons are the biggest issue for people not continuing into racing, and not being involved in it any longer. So there's ways that we can limit that. I understand wanting to have and wanting to make the amount of money that you can. it's tough as a track promoter, and it's tough as a racer. It's tough as a race fan. I think myself, yeah, I would prefer to have that. Like you said, as Craig says, it would save teams huge money on hotel gate fees, and it already does pay good purses. So, and as a sponsor, it's also really hard. Well, again, as a sponsor, you've got 3 days worth. Again, so again, like there's options here. I think at the same time, if you change the format, maybe you see things change. It will be more challenging this year. Expendable cash is far less this year this year in years past for a lot of people. And I mean, Steve had the experience already. I mean, start off on race number 1, you blow the motor, and then get involved in accidents. Automatically, it's going to cause issues. And in racing, what's the first thing that's got to go, right? It's the extra money being spent. So if you blow the motor in the first week, you don't have the money to go out and do it. And I will say, Steve, thank you for Ray Cullen for partnering with Delaware Speedway's Rogers TV broadcast. So now I will never get that theme song out of my head. It's literally been stuck in it every... Insane. Yeah, Tyler was right on the microphone here. It's my microphone cord is at its capacity. It's been kind of severed for a while, and unfortunately, it sounds like she's on her last legs. But Graydon, this microphone has it's lasted us, I think, 3 years. I've had this, so. It's unfortunately on its way out, but Ashley, honestly, he got his food and then he left, so it wasn't him. No, it's been split for a while, unfortunately, but it's. I like having this show because we get to talk about the stuff that the racers want to talk about, that people in motorsports that are fans talk about. And I think it's important because all of us have have reasons and stuff that we want to get out. But this weekend, I think, what is it that I'm looking forward to most? Well, obviously, other than Graydon Bunn racing a mini stock, which is friggin' amazing and wicked. I'm going to say it actually is going to be the Legends. I've been pleasantly surprised, and I'm going to go out and say a couple years ago, I was such a skeptic of the Legend Car Series in Ontario, and I think it was struggling. We had situations where we didn't have a ton of cars out there. It was really dominated by one guy, and but this year, I think it's been fantastic. Aside from a couple guys that have, they've had some run-ins, and a big hope he feels okay to Jim McFadden, because holy crap, that was bad. Strongco has a great video of it. The O2 Legend broke and may have hit the wall or gotten some damage somewhere, but then had no brakes. Or was it Andrew that hit? Who was it that was in the car? Feeney. Because I believe it said Jim McFadden on Race Monitor. That's the only reason why I said Jim, but. Broken 3 and 4, didn't feel it yet. It was the end wall that he hit. And I've Andrew is Jim. Okay. I have not seen a car hit there before. And that's not safer barrier. That's just full concrete blocks, is it not? And he hit it flush. Like, no stopping the car. He went straight into it. No time, no slowdown at all. I think at Colors last year, John Bates went through that open area as well, but he was able to turn the car and saved it. Didn't hit anything. But not so much luck this time around. He was on the skinny pedal, broken right front suspension. He has concrete to keep the cars from going through the fence. Ouch. I mean, aside from that, we have had so many bad wrecks this year. Bill Daniels got out there, won himself a heat race, and in the feature, he, as Kev Travelin told me, he looped it and he hit the wall, and he's feeling roughed up from that. And oh man, it sucks. I mean, yeah, Phil Givens took that massive hit. He and Nathan Hawkins at Flamborough. It's just it's tough to see that especially some of these racers that, and Chase Downer, that's right, Ashley. Chase Downer ended up upside down at Peterborough, and then they've had multiple bone stocks have had multiple big crashes this year. Downer, it was a little bit of a slow flip over, but nonetheless, there was massive hits for Robbie Miltimore and Savannah Strawn in the junior late model division as well. And it just not a good night. Not a good weekend, really. We finally had a good weekend for getting stuff done and getting races done, but unfortunately, the amount of carnage that came out of it was just sad to see, unfortunately. I mean, it was full moon racing, Ashley. It definitely was. So Spencer Riddell just jinxed it because he says, I still don't know how the Flamborough hasn't stacked up a field yet. You guys were trying your hardest, Spencer. You were really trying your hardest this past weekend with Mac and Rachel and to start the race. Cam Thompson and Craig Cole getting into it. So not for a lack of trying. And yes, Spencer, it was close. I think that we got to watch. Rodney was on two wheels. Damn. As much as I hate it, I'm also kind of like, well, this is still pretty, it's racing, right? Finally scares you. Nah, you get out there with the boys and the girls, Graydon, you'll be fine. Get out there. Spencer will show you around. You get Spencer Riddell, or maybe you get Mark Allen to show you, or hell, you get Phil Givens. Peterborough has a heavy rookie count in bone stock series. They really do. Ashley, a lot of people that have actually never raced. We got Paige Stevenson as part of our SNS racing family. Chad Massioli as well. Feeney says Flamborough is the worst walls he's hit so far. And that's impressive because, Feeney, you've hit a lot, as you've told me and shown me. And your son has won. Yes, Matt McMartin. Is it not, Matt? I hope it's. I'm hoping I'm not messing that up. Just kidding. I'll go anywhere. Yeah, Graydon. Yeah. Matt's number 16 out in Bone Stock Division, and that's what's great to see though is at the end of the day though is that we've got people coming in, men, women, all races coming in and participating in motorsports. It's what you need, right? As many racers we can get on the racetrack, but I think this weekend you've got to go out to a racetrack. There's too much great stuff happening. It's going to be hot. It's going to be slick. I don't quite know what to expect really in a lot of these events. APC, I mean, Flamborough is Kyle Steckley's playhouse, man. I think that guy he's going to be tough to beat. If JR ends up racing there, he'll be tough to beat as well. Super stocks, you got to go Carson Nagy or Lane Zardo. Oscar is a lot harder if AJ Ems is racing the mod, he could potentially be somebody to watch at Full Throttle. In Super Lace, you got to go Sean Chenoweth. Now that I'm thinking, JR probably won't if the Super Lates are running, so it's going to be between JR and Sean, I would think, at Peterborough. Bone Stock's got to watch Chris Allard again. He's been on a hot streak. Jordan Owens is always somebody you got to watch too. We'll throw out Spencer Riddell there, see how he does. Besides the Canada Series out of weekend, the Sprint Show is going to be crazy. The Sprint Show is actually going to be, I think, the highlight. Spencer, I think we kind of know what the NASCAR Canada Series is when it goes to Weekend Speedway. Where I obviously Chase Briscoe is always something there, and I think in terms of Oscar hot rods, Graydon Bunn is right on the money. You got to watch the guy that just won out and swept the hot rod races at Varney. That's Matt Hopkins. And he finished third at Delaware, so he's got something for them this year. Kenny McNichol, Steve McCaw, they're the guys. Steve Book, Rob Bromley, Tyler Hahn. You can always expect something from those guys as well. But Hopkins is definitely one of the names you're going to have to watch. Thomas Wunsch is somebody else as well. He's been very impressive out there. Second and third last week out at the track, so definitely have to watch for him. In the hot rods as well. I think Travis Farrow typically runs there. We got Brian Wilson is going to be racing local racers. And again, that's what's so good about having these divisions that travel and having home divisions as well, is that they'll go there and the home track cars come out to play with the touring division. And I absolutely love that. I think it makes such a better show. It's going to be a show like no other this weekend, really, honestly. The weather, knock on wood, for Saturday is looking very good with a chance of no rain, which is exactly what the racing community needs, because we all know it has been a miserable couple of weeks for that. Feeney's out there. He's going to have his new camera this week with Super Lates. It's going to be hot. That is for sure. Make sure, of course, I just saw Dave Lloyd give a thumbs up, so make sure you guys have your quick fire starter if you're camping out this weekend. And we definitely want to make sure that if you are going to be out at the racetrack, to hydrate. We've had lots of people that are new to racing, that maybe not got as much hydrated as they didn't get as hydrated as they should have a couple weeks ago, and so we're gonna make sure that that those parties are hydrated as much as possible. Look out for your fellow racers and your fans, people in the stands, and definitely I'm okay with us racing at night because during the day might be a little tough. We're starting around 5 o'clock, I believe it's 6 o'clock for most of the tracks. Again, look at these schedules here. These are special attractions that are coming to your weekly racing this weekend. Of course, you've got fan appreciations out at Grand Bend at Full Throttle. No racing at Sauble this weekend. They've got monster trucks. Sunset Speedway's got Rib Fest going on. They've got the $1,000 to win bone stocks. You've got kids bike races. Junior late models are also on the card. The Ontario Legends are on the card in combination with the Great Lakes Legends. So expect stacked fields there. Definitely you've got your Flamborough show with Canadian Vintage Modifieds, APC late models, and the super stocks as well. So definitely excited. Make sure you get up to Full Throttle. You got Thunder Trucks. You've got your Oscar Modifieds, and you've got your Oscar Hot Rods. You can't go wrong with Peterborough either, though. They've got the Outlaw Super Late models. They've got bone stocks on the card as well. Just confirming, Craig, Rib Fest is in the parking lot, correct? At Sunset Speedway. Those that have done it, I've never been for a Rib Fest before, so this will be a first for me, and I'm probably going to lose my photographer in the ribs. So it may have shocked Graydon a little bit when I did tell him that I'm not a rib guy. So kids rides as well at Peterborough this weekend. So again, lots of stuff for the kids. Get to, as Graydon Bunn says, and I said it earlier in the show, get to any damn racetrack this weekend. Support our racers. Support this amazing thing that we've got going on here. The reason that we talk about this, the reason why we have this show is to promote the amazing racing that is happening. And no, I'm not broken inside because I'm not a rib guy, okay? Let's not play this game, Graydon Bunn. Not here. Not here. Not here. See? Feeney doesn't like ribs either. There we go. And Spencer agrees with me as well. Vindication. And Ashley. Vindication. I can't even cheer too much because it's hot in here. So, you guys are all broken. All right, Graydon Bunn. Get to a racetrack this week and support racers as well. Lots of people got their merchandise out. Ray Morneau's got some merch out. Jomo Media's got merch out. Feeney has got Ladies of Racing caps available. Pink caps supporting the Feeney call. Make sure you go out get those. Stickers and scuffs. Check them out on social media. And of course, do what you got to do. And do us one thing here for GeForce TV. You want to check out this weekend APC through GeForce TV on Racing America. Not just that. On Thursday, Ken, you've got your sprint cars and you got the Oshwegan Speedway hot laps and the heats for the NASCAR Canada Series that is going to be live on GeForce TV. You have to switch over to Flow Racing /TSN Plus if you do want to watch the event, the actual race itself. But on Friday night, Oshwegan Racing still going to be part of the show here. And so 3 nights of GeForce TV action. Make sure you guys do us a favor and subscribe to the channel. This is what GeForce is all about, is showing you and bringing you the amazing Ontario racing that we all love and we all deserve. If you can, give us a thumbs up on this show as well. It helps us with the algorithm. It helps us get seen. I want you guys to come back here every week. We'll come back and we'll talk about everything in the racing scene. Let's talk more and more, and maybe we'll get some interviews, some drivers coming in on the show. We'll be out this weekend at Sunset Speedway. I will be there. Graydon Bunn will be there. Brandon Feeney, he's going to be out at Peterborough Speedway. Wherever you are going out to the racetrack this weekend, make sure you enjoy it. Thank the people that put on the show. Thank the racers that go out there and spend all the money and do what they do. Thank the partners. And you know what? Bring a friend. It's always the easiest thing to do, is to say that you're going to bring somebody. But no, come and bring somebody. Show them what racing is all about. Because I'll bet you they've never seen anything like it. And you know what? It's a damn good show. And there's a lot of amazing people in it. People that will be friends and will have your back no matter what. It is really an amazing thing. The racing community is like no other. And we are just privileged to be a part of it. That is it for our time tonight. I have been your host Cam K, here supporting Chris Lawrence of BT Racing here on the show. Give us a thumbs up. Give us a smile. Subscribe to the channel. We'll catch you all next week here on ONTrack Weekly.